And so he's taking calls over the weekend from various CEOs that I know that are trying to talk him off the ledge of this sort of stuff.
Not only is Elon Musk on a sinking ship of his own, it seems like he might also bring Trump down along with him. Do you know how rotten and odious you have to be for even Steve Bannon to talk crap about you?
You know, I imagine some of your issues with Elon, and we haven't even gotten to that. And I know that's all.
Do I have any issues?
Yeah, I know. Well, you called him evil. You called him a racist. You have a
parasitic,
illegal alien, I think was your exact phrase.
People are souring on Doge faster than spoiled milk. The whining and moaning has reached all new levels as Don Bongino, podcaster turned deputy director of the FBI, vows to investigate the domestic terrorism that really is just protesters vandalizing Elon's crap. And you better believe it's Elon's fault he's firing everybody because he says they're inefficient. Here's a woman at the town hall Scott Perry refused to show up at, absolutely letting them have it.
For the Department of Education, he got axed. No. Opened up the computer, guess what? You're gone. Let me tell you what he did for the Department of Education. He reviewed contracts. He saved everybody in here thousands of tax dollars, and his evaluation was the top. Then I turn on the TV the next day, and there is Trump, saying they were scum, no good people, what they got rid of. I am furious.
Now, we've always known that business owners overwhelmingly supported Kamala Harris. I mean, she wouldn't stop bragging about it during her campaign. And it honestly doesn't look like they've changed their minds, seeing as they're calling him in droves, trying to get him not to jump off the cliff. And that's coming from Anthony the Mooch Scaramucci, who absolutely threw away his entire career for Trump during the first term and is currently living to regret it.
I don't find it surprising that he is indifferent to the economic struggles of his own voters. But I think if you watch a lot of political reporting, there's a lot of surprise. You've got Steve Bannon out on the other side talking about how the Doge cuts will damage the MAGA base of voters. And the truth is, it shouldn't matter who you voted for. The economic crisis is being created by Donald Trump, and as you said, to service his Prussian ambitions. What is the friction point for him? Will he still care about the market reaction? Because so far it seems like he doesn't care about that this time.
Well, I think a 15% move down in the markets, he'll start caring. You know, he's already getting the saber. Remember, he's living alone in the White House, Nicole. I think it's important for people to understand that. There's nobody there to hand check him. There's no family in there. And so he's taking calls over the weekend from various CEOs that I know that are trying to talk him off the ledge of this sort of stuff. But the stock market will. I mean, you take the market down another 15%. We go into a recession. You'll flip the Congress. Even though the Democrats aren't really doing so well from an approval rating right now, you knock the economy off the grid. The Democrats will be back in power, and that will liquidate some of President Trump's power. So he's doing this thinking that it's going to restore manufacturing, but it's actually going to have the opposite effect. And market participants know this. And by the way, just one last point, look at the European markets and the flow of capital into Europe over the last 3 or 4 weeks since he started saber rattling on the tariffs. And look at the flow of capital into U.S. markets. It's shifting. You know, international capital, which has been a spigot and a great benefit to the United States over the last 80 years, is slowing down because of President Trump's mismanagement of this thing.
And I can't believe I'm agreeing with Anthony Scaramucci right here, but it seems like a lot of these people who were burned by Trump the first time around are pretty sober-minded about where things are headed. Elon Musk is personally feeling the pain as short sellers have made a bag off of him. $15 billion betting against Tesla and Nvidia, because it turns out everything that he's doing with the administration is bringing the entire market down. We're at a critical point where the market is bouncing around where it was when Trump was elected and took office. A lot of business leaders are realizing that the underlying reasons why the market was turning downward in the first place, i.e. Trump's tariffs and Doge firing thousands of employees, well, those conditions haven't exactly improved. So there's no real reason why the market would break through this ceiling and start trending upward. It looks like folks are not going to let up on Elon, as other countries are not going to let up on Trump, because the protests are working. And you know the protests are working from the way they're trying to come down on people who vandalize Teslas. These people are on Fox News talking about seeking capital punishment.
If there's someone in one of these cars, they blow up.
That can happen. That becomes murder, or worse, terrorism plus. And I know that on January 20th, the president signed into law, through an executive order, restoring the death penalty. Do you think this sort of thing, and I hate to think it, people leave their children and pets in cars. I mean, you don't know. This is deadly, dangerous stuff these liberal protesters are playing with.
Yes, it is, Harris. And what I can tell you is that President Trump condemns this violence, and he is determined to restore law and order in our country, and he will ensure that the harshest penalties are pursued for those who are engaging in this vicious violence that we have seen targeted at this American company.
What if somebody keeps all of their babies in the car and some liberal vandal comes and blows up the car? This can become terrorism. Plus, do you think we should just murder these people for committing property damage against our God King's boyfriend, Elon Musk? I mean, maybe people are going to great lengths to protest because their representatives aren't showing up to town halls, so they can't express how unhappy they are with Elon Musk taking over and gutting the federal government, slashing grants and funds while also starting tariff wars with random countries, foes and allies alike, isn't exactly a soothing agent for the markets. I know Trump's phone must be ringing nonstop like the Powerpuff Girls. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.